Mohbad's father is in big trouble. He has finally been exposed, and at this point, everyone is suspecting him to know more than he's telling. Some people have even begun accusing him of killing his own son, because right now, everything that this man is doing in the press is only working against him.
So guys, as at the time of making this video, it was reported that Mohbad's body has been exhumed, that is dug out of the grave for autopsy and further investigation. So this happened as at the time I was making and filming this video. It was said that during the exhumation process, the police kept people at distance so that there would be no distraction and there would be no crowd surrounding them. There were police tapes all around the area before his body was eventually exhumed. This means that this case is only just starting. Like, it's about to get bad. It's about to get better even, because right now, all the answers that we need, all the answers to the questions we've all been asking would be answered. An autopsy would be done. And this is where we would now know what truly happened to Mohbad. Now, there have been claims that people saw blood in the casket after Mohbad's body had been removed, suggesting that he was buried alive. Now, this is just sparking up a controversy, and a lot of people have their opinions. What I can say about it is that usually when someone is deceased, their body still emanates fluid, and that usually mostly happens if the person wasn't embalmed. Now, it's clear that Mohbad wasn't embalmed, because we know he was buried so fast, and embalming takes days, if not weeks, for it to be done. Although it can be done very fast, but for the case of Mohbad, I don't believe, or there's no reason to believe, that he was embalmed, which meant that blood was not drained out of his body, nor was any of his bodily fluid drained out of him. So it is very likely that the reason why there are bodily fluids in the casket after his body was removed was because he wasn't embalmed.
Initially, we all thought and we all agreed that Mohbad was buried too quickly, despite not being Muslim and despite not dying from a very contagious disease. Regardless of the fact that he's a father and a husband, we all thought his burial was too quick and too rushed for such a person, given the circumstances surrounding the controversy of his death. But it turns out that his father actually had plans of burying him earlier than we complained of. Like, we're busy complaining that this guy was buried too quick, whereas there were plans to bury him a lot earlier than he was actually buried. Mohbad died on the 12th of September 2023, somewhere in the evening, where it was announced and it became popular news on the internet. And he was buried the next day, the 13th of September 2023, towards evening in Ikorodu, in a land that they said belonged to him. And when his burial was going on, which everyone thought was a rush, people did not even have time to attend. But it so turned out that this man, Mohbad's father, actually had the idea, even had planned to bury Mohbad midnight of the same day he died. That is midnight on the 12th of September, barely 8 hours after this young man was said to have died from an unknown and undisclosed cause. The Bale of Ikorodu, a known man in the community, who is also the leader of the landlord association, according to what's been said, was the one that told people in an interview that Mohbad's father, Mr. Joseph Aloba, reached out to him at night to tell him that his son Mohbad had passed. The man said he knew of Mohbad but did not exactly know him personally, and that when the father reached out to him, he was, trying to console the man, when all of a sudden the man told him that they were bringing his body over for burial and they were planning on doing it in the midnight, where everyone would not know, where mostly people would not have attended, and we would not have even seen the entire process.
Community leader, you don't want anything that will affect our community because of the side effects. And I'm saying it in English again. The father of this guy, Mohbad, called me. I don't know the time. I don't know that this is what is going to happen. Called me at night, telling me that Mohbad is dead. I felt so bad. I felt so sorry because I didn't know that boy. It's only the father that I knew. I've never met him before. I know that he's very, very charitable. He's giving money. When he gave his father card, the father celebrated it. I don't know him. I don't pray for him. Now, suddenly, the father said that they are bringing him to bury. They are bringing him. They want to bury him at that night. That I should assemble, I should get shovels, jiggers, in order to bury him. And I said that this is not possible, man. It's not possible. Don't do that. I'm a community leader. How can you come and say that you want to bury your son at that time? I've called him about 2 times and he said, you are bringing him. Immediately I saw some community members, one brought chauffeur, one brought jigger, a woman and a man. I said, what?
And this revelation has made things worse for Mr. Joseph Aloba. This revelation, this expose has made things really bad for him, because prior to now, people were already looking at him with one eye. But after this revelation, everyone is looking at him. Everyone suspects him. Everyone believes he knows way more than what he's hiding. He has been confronted many times, although he has responded that the reason why he buried his son so early was because in their culture, it is not good to keep a child after he has died, especially when his both parents are alive. And that is his claim. Even though a lot of people who share the same culture as him, a lot of Yoruba people have come out to call him out and say that is bullshit and that is not true, there are still people who believe that, okay, yes, it is normal and it's also practical for a lot of parents to quickly bury their child. However, Mohbad is not just any child. He was a celebrity. He was a notable main and known person in the country. He's a national treasure to some people, and he's also a father and a husband. And yet you wanted to bury him at midnight? This only shows one thing, that this man was trying to hide something. And initially, in my mind, I thought maybe he did not know about the condition of his son in that casket. But right now, I feel like he knew. And I think that could be part of the things he was trying to hide. There are now claims going around the internet that there is a chance Mohbad was buried alive, because people are now pointing out certain absurdity in the video where Mohbad was lying supposedly dead at the back of a vehicle and his friend was crying that he was dead. Somewhere in the video, Mohbad's body was said to have moved and jerked a little, and people saw it. I saw it, and it was very clear that Mohbad was actually somewhat alive in that video. He looked like life was still there. And the mathematics a lot of people are doing right now is judging the circumstances that led to his death and the controversy surrounding him being buried so quickly. He was injected and he collapsed, and his own father was thinking of burying him barely 6 hours later. And this has made people suspect that maybe the injection given to Mohbad was to keep him unconscious so that he would be buried alive. Was that what his father was trying to do? Was the father taking a chance? Was he trying to quickly rush this boy to be buried so that he would not have the chance to get up from the injection? What are the possibilities that Mohbad is not in his grave right now, struggling to crawl out? And they made it so incredibly uncomfortable and impossible for him that even if he was to wake up in his grave with his neck bent, it won't be long before he eventually doesn't get to wake up again. These are a lot of theories people are putting out there, that this man most likely buried his son alive, especially given the fact that he was looking forward to burying him at midnight on the same day he died, barely 6 hours apart. And that is not even the worst of all, because with him, it just keeps getting bad. Where the whole world is trying to hold the people suspected to have a hand in this boy's destruction responsible, Mr. Joseph Aloba is out there defending the suspect. Everybody's holding Naira Marley accountable for the role he played in destroying this boy's life. Everybody's holding Sammy Larry responsible. Some people are even calling out the nurse. There are people even dragging the wife and saying she knows way more, talking about doing DNA testing for the child, suspecting she did something to him because he found out that the child was not his. Everybody right now is a suspect. And guess what Mohbad's father is doing? He's going around defending everybody. How can a man whose son died in an unusual circumstance open his mouth and say the people everyone is suspecting is not the one who did it? Then who did it, sir? Since you know everything, since you got your degrees and you're so intelligent that you know who did it and who did not do it. An investigation has not been carried out. People are basing their suspicion on the fact that your son, while he was alive, complained that these people were after his life with evidence. And you stand there on the grave of your dead child to say that those people did not do anything, that those people did not kill him. He even went on to say that his son was stubborn, that Naira Marley was only showing seniority, that Naira Marley was only trying to correct him. Your son is dead, and the one person your son accused of wanting to take his life is who you're defending, is who you're standing up for, is who you're out there making campaign and trying to clear his name. Even if Naira Marley himself has not even spoken up for himself to clear his own name, you are the one doing his job for him. Not to add the accusation that people are making that Naira Marley is the one behind Mohbad being buried quickly, that Naira Marley is the one who threatened Mohbad's father, that Naira Marley is the one who is most likely paying Mohbad's father to hurry up with the burial. And in an interview, it was said that Davido sent this man 2 million naira. And when this man was asked how he used the money, he claimed he used the money to buy caskets and he used the money for burial expenses, which is very tricky because from what we are hearing, Davido only sent the money on the 13th. But this man actually had plans to bury his son on the midnight of 12th of September. So which meant that the casket that you're claiming you used Davido's money to buy, you had already bought it. And the burial expenses that you used Davido's money for, you already had plans for that. So who sponsored that initial burial that you were going to do at midnight? Because we know it's not Davido's money. Because that one was said to have come on the 13th, the next day. So, which meant that for this man to have plans to bury his son on that same day, midnight, he had already done the casket, he had already prepared for the burial, and he already probably had money for the grave diggers and everyone who was going to get involved. So the burial for Mohbad had already been planned. So this man is most likely lying when he claimed it was the 2 million naira that Davido sent him that he used to buy the casket and for the burial, because that one came the next day and you had plans the day before. So who sponsored that? Because with the way this man is defending Sammy Larry and Naira Marley, it is making people believe that Naira Marley has a hold on him. In the video that I saw where he was talking with Naira Marley with Mohbad in the back, clearly he was most likely trying to speak for his son. That should have been at the time when they had issues and the father was trying to intervene for the son. And in that video, even though you cannot understand what is being spoken, you can understand the dynamics of power between Mohbad's father and Naira Marley. In the entire video, Naira Marley is on the bed, filming this man visibly, while the man is standing up, begging and talking in soft tune. I don't know, but when it comes to the Yoruba culture, they are supposed to be the most respectful people. They are the most respectful people that I know when it comes to their tradition and when it comes to them associating or interacting with an elder, regardless of the financial status. The Yorubas will prostrate all the way to the ground. So why is it that when it came to Mohbad's father talking with Naira Marley, in which this man is obviously older than Naira Marley is still on his bed, filming him, while the man is standing? Like, it's so disrespectful. It's the most disrespectful thing you would ever see.
I think the new to have more they don't perform, also back the lyrics, on back the phone password. From my account details. Oh, well, the phone, but my password, my blog, my wife.
This is something that you will know that Naira Marley does have a hold on this man. This is where you know that Naira Marley actually could possibly be the one pressing the remote of this man to bury his son. Because for you as an elderly Yoruba man to be standing and talking to a young boy like Naira Marley who is on his bed comfortably looking at you and filming you like you're coming to beg for money, then it's very clear that the power dynamics or the respect dynamics between Mohbad's father and Naira Marley is uneven, and the upper hand is on Naira Marley. So when people are talking about Naira Marley paid this man off or is threatening this man to discredit his son's death or make it go away, it's very believable. Because this is a man that has called his son stubborn. This is a man that has made it seem as if his son has not done anything for him when he was alive. This is a man whose other siblings or family members have been thinking of ways to drag property from Mohbad's wife. It's almost clear that for Mohbad's father, Naira Marley obviously has power over him. Aside all of these atrocities that this man is throwing out there, aside all of this red flag that this man is putting out there, making him more guilty every single day, in the recent interview he had with the police where he was on the panel, everybody's pointing out how his face looked when the police officer was talking about how they've gathered their team for investigation, how everyone will be investigated, how they will do an autopsy, get his body out of the grave, how that no stone will be left unturned and every suspect will be looked into. People just kept looking at Mohbad's father's face. His face was telling. His face was revealing. Everyone has analyzed his face that this man is somehow scared. Whatever he thought he was hiding would come out to light. Everyone is just looking at Mohbad's father with both eyes at this point. Everyone is calling him out. Everyone believes that he knows way more. And to be very honest with you, he keeps giving out that there is so much more he knows. Because I've never seen a man who would lose a child and go out there to fully defend the people suspected of killing his child. Even the so-called nurse that most possibly injected your son with whatever may have killed him, you haven't said anything. You didn't even ask people to go after that. You were busy going after properties. I would like to know what this man knows. I won't be surprised if everything comes out and that there was something really sketchy and fishy about the death of Mohbad. If there was some kind of substance that was injected in him, that substance would be eventually revealed. And if there was a chance that Mohbad could have been saved, because there's a video going around of a so-called eyewitness who was there the day Mohbad was brought to the hospital. You must have heard the audio of the man talking about how he saw Mohbad and Mohbad was going in, and all of a sudden the nurses started running helter-skelter and they did not know what to do, and somehow, somewhere, he asked what was happening, and that was when one of the nurses said they gave Mohbad an injection and he collapsed. And just a few moments after that, the friend that Mohbad went into the hospital ward with runs out and is screaming Mohbad is dead. And in this man's point of view, he is claiming that these nurses and these doctors did not actually try to help Mohbad.
So like I was saying, I was at the hospital that morning when Mohbad arrived. He came with one guy, the same guy that his video was trending on social media, that was shouting, Mohbad is dead, Mohbad is dead. And that's why I told you that that guy, he had a lot of questions to answer, because he know a lot of things that Nigerians don't know. The same guy he came with, and he is the same guy that took him out of hospital. Now, I was at the hospital that morning when he arrived, and I even took a picture with him. I will send you the picture. So when he came, I was happy to see him. I requested if I can take a picture with him, and he said no problem. Though I noticed he looked so down, he was looking so down that morning. I was not happy initially because they gave me appointment, and I got there. I stayed there for almost an hour. They told me that the doctor is not around. So at the time I got angry, and one of the nurses there came to calm me down that the doctor will soon arrive. So while we were talking, Mohbad came in with the guy. So I saw him, and instantly I was lightened up, and I was like, Mohbad, I used to listen to your song. I'm one of your fans. Can I please take a picture with you? And he said, okay, no problem. So after taking this picture with him, he went inside. And I was sitting down at the reception there. I was just looking at the picture. Then after 20 minutes, after 15 to 20 minutes that he went inside, started noticing that they were just moving around. A lot of confusion. I couldn't understand. I noticed that they were trying to make call. They were trying to call some people. The nurses, they were just walking around. And something was not just right. So I have to stand up. I needed to ask someone what's going on, because at the time I was even kind of afraid if I'm safe there. So I have to I saw the nurse that was trying to calm me down earlier. So I called her and I was like, what happened? She whispered to my ear that they gave Mohbad injection and he collapsed. So I was shocked. Mohbad, I wanted to shout. Before I know, even the nurse because I wanted to ask her, what happened? Before I know, she left me. So I was kind of confused. In that confused state, I was just standing around. Before I know, before my own very eyes, this same guy that came with Mohbad rushed him out of the hospital, shirtless, out of the hospital, and everything just happened.
How did he die instantly after an injection? What was injected inside of him? Cement? In the audio, the man was so disappointed at the fact that these people did not even try to help him. That they did not try. That the moment Mohbad collapsed, that was when they assumed or concluded that he had died. And before you know it, 6 hours later, his father is already talking about putting him in the ground. All these things is making this story way more complicated than it should ever be. It's looking like there is some kind of medical mishap that was done. It's looking like this nurse or the people who injected him with something know something, or they were sent. It's also looking like the father knows. Or could it be that it's the hospital that is promising the man money to let it just die quickly because they know they will be in trouble? It's very possible that it could be the hospital and the owner of the clinic that is promising the man a lot of money if he just lets it die, if he just lets his son be buried and not make a big deal out of this. Because if they find out that Mohbad's father is taking bribe or is aware that his son's death was mostly caused by somebody, then he will be held accountable. He will most likely be facing jail because he knows something. He'll be an accomplice to murder if that's the case. It's such a very unusual event. Everything we're seeing unfolding in this Mohbad's case is so overwhelming. Everyone is speaking out. Everybody is a suspect. Even Mohbad's wife right now is under fire, especially with her child, because people are pointing out that the child does not look like Mohbad, rather looks like Sammy Larry. And people have claimed that while Mohbad was dating the girl, she was most likely having affairs around with people, and one of such people might be Sammy Larry. But I don't know what I think about that. I feel like if Sammy Larry ever had slept with Mohbad's wife, for someone who wants to destroy Mohbad, he would be the one to tell Mohbad. It would be a popular news. He would announce it. It's not something he would want to keep to himself. It looked like something he would want to brag about and hurt Mohbad. That is, if indeed he did anything with Mohbad's wife. I feel like that would have come out, and Sammy Larry would have used it to insult Mohbad, because he clearly wanted to destroy this boy so badly. But then again, at this point, it's hard to let people off the hook. At this point, it's hard to defend anyone, because right now, everyone is a suspect. Right now, it's hard not to see that even Mohbad's father might know something about the death of his son. But you guys, let me know what you think. Let me know your thoughts, because this story is far from over. There's a whole chapter that is yet to unfold. I would like to see what the investigation come up with. I would like to see what would be done in terms of investigation. Meanwhile, it's being said that Naira Marley and Sammy Larry are not in the country, which means that wherever they are, they have no intention of suffering the consequences of their role in destroying this boy's life. So I don't know how that will play out. How will the police investigate them if they are not in the country? I'm not going to lie, what happened to Mohbad was really horrible, but we saw the signs when it comes to this Malian music record label. We saw the signs. How does a record label manager go to jail many times and get arrested by the NDLEA for doing drugs? And we Nigerians were the ones who championed him, who protested that Naira Marley be released. We gave Naira Marley so much support, and he turned out to be the devil. Created a label to sign young artists, young talented artists, only to end up turning them into junkies, only to end up turning them into drug addicts, only to end up turning them into versions of himself, only to end up turning them into drug pushers. Because I still feel that under all those Malian music thing, a lot of these people were dealing drugs. It seems like that is what is being proven. Maybe that was why Mohbad wanted to leave. Maybe that was why Mohbad did not want to continue. Adding to the fact that his deal was probably not favorable to him. Because just so you know, in as much as Mohbad is going viral now and his songs are selling, it's very possible that a lot of the money is going to Naira Marley. It's very possible that all the songs that are doing well in Mohbad's name right now in the charts, the money is going to Malian music. It's only most likely making Naira Marley richer. Hopefully, Mohbad gets royalties from it, and hopefully those royalties goes to his family. And despite the fact that Naira Marley is under hot soup, people should collect Mohbad's royalties first from him before they do whatever they want to do to him. So that's it, guys. But I want you guys' thoughts. I need you guys' opinions. So if you're watching this right now, comment your thoughts. What do you think about Mohbad's father defending Naira Marley and Sammy Larry? What do you think about Mohbad's father having the plans to actually bury his son earlier than we thought, in the midnight of the same day he died? Do you think he's hiding something? And what could he be hiding? Do you think he knows something about the death of his son? And also let me know your thoughts on Mohbad's wife being suspected of not burying Mohbad's son. People are saying that before money should be raised for Mohbad's son, a DNA test should be done for the baby to confirm that it was indeed Mohbad's own child, given how people are citing his resemblance to Sammy Larry. Do you think it's rational? Do you think it's reasonable for people to ask this woman to undergo a DNA test before they can support her and the baby? Let me know your thoughts in the comment below. Please don't forget to like and share. Also, don't forget to subscribe and turn on your notification button so if there is a new video on this topic, you'll get notified. Thank you guys for watching.